Okay. So what do next? So people has multiple options in their brain. Similarly, you check it off. You have so many golden opportunities. Okay, you're almost hitting 200. So I want you to be active on the chat box so that we can interact and take this session ahead, right? Right. So you have two opportunities. First of all, to decide whether you want to go other country abroad, you have different options, or whether you want to settle in India as a dentist. Okay, so this is first thing. First, decide whether you want to go for abroad. Don't just decide that you have a fantasy towards going and abroad. Don't decide like that. If you have an option, if you have the family, your family has that financial status to push you to the next level, you decide. Okay, then for everything there are two factors to be considered. Okay, so whether you go for US yet for DDS, or whether you do this or do that. Okay, so first you decide two factors. One is time, second one is how much you are going to spend, how much money you are going to spend, and how much time it is going to consume. Okay, so for example, you take a simple example. DDS program requires minimum 5 years to maximum 7 years. So it's going to take 5 to 7 years of your valid time. So time, it's very huge. 7 to 5 years is not as simple as you think. And if you take the financial things of DDS, you need to spend some 2 to 2.5 crores. And you need to have a green card holder for DDS to be completed. Green card holder. So everything has a positives and a negatives on one side. Okay, so you have to decide. And for every call, whatever you're taking, first of all, decide how much time it's going to take. Means, for example, if you're going back to your father and telling, father, I'm going to take 5 to 7 years for finishing my DDS, most of the parents may not agree. Okay, so first you have to confirm with your father, because your father have something in his mind for you. He's planning something in his mind for you. Maybe asking you to get married by next 3 or 4 years. So he has some plans in the mind, and 5 to 7 years is a very huge thing that most of the parents may not permit. For example, if you take my situation, I started with the session telling that my financial levels are very, very bad. Okay, my father is okay for 5 to 7 years, but my father is not okay for 2 to 2.5 crores, and we don't have a backup green card holder with us to keep a signature for the loan. So that's going to be a disadvantage. And for this particular option, okay, so it's not my cup of coffee. 2 to 2.5 crores is something sounds very huge for our family, which we cannot do at any cost. So for every call, you have to decide how much time it's going to take. So your factors, your option is going to be decided by three important factors. One is time, second one is money you spend, and third one is parents. Means if you have time, who has to give the time? Of course, parents. Money, who has to give? Parents. So parents are required. So whenever you're taking a call, okay, you make them to sit. Okay, you discuss with them. You talk with them. Okay, consider the money. Consider your amount you're going to spend, time you're going to spend. Discuss with your parents, and parents has to take a call over this, because once after 5 or 6 months after an internship, okay, your plan will be collapsed if parents doesn't agree with this. So my suggestion to all the young interns who has fresh thoughts in their mind, my suggestion is calculate the time you're going to spend, calculate the money you're going to spend, and you need to take your permission and support from the parents and the family. So whatever it is, every stuff has a positives and negatives. That's what I'm talking about. I want you to focus more on the positives. Okay, so because as we are a positive thinker, I want you to on the negative aspects also. The reason why I'm asking you to focus on the negative aspects is very, very simple. Okay, it's very simple, because this is called as practical way of thinking. Now, it's not like something like, okay, I want to do this. I want to be here by next year. It's not going to be possible. It's because everything are linked with time and money. So you should have a practical way of thinking, so that you need to think about the disadvantages of every step what you are going to take, right? Okay, so we'll be talking about the options. If you want, you can write down these options, or you can keep in the mind. Okay, So the first golden opportunity that more than 95% of the dentists in India are following is, what is this? I want you to be active on the chat box. What's in front of you? Guys, please don't write. Please don't write on my wall, please. Yes, the first important golden opportunity is a clinical practice. Clinical practice. Why I'm telling it as a golden opportunity is India is one of the country having a huge population. Means the dental needs are very, very important for India because we have a diversified population and we have a diversified food habits. Like for example, if you take other countries like China or any other countries, like most of the countries like Thailand, Vietnam, any countries, they have a common food habits. But if you see today, we have different category of people. We have people from Andhra, Telangana, Kerala, we have Maharashtra people, Tamil Nadu people here, right? So different people has a different food habits. So the reason is we have a different origin and we have a different food habits. So we have more dental problems of wide diversities. Means dental caries is more, malocclusion is more. So everything is more. So as we have a huge population, dental needs are more. Dental needs are more. So we require more dentists. So we require more dentist to population ratio. But my question for all of you who are the 200 odd students are there, how many of you want to get settled down in a village? Is there anyone in this group who want to get settled down in a village? Do your practice in a village or a town, at least town. Okay, one, anyone? I got one. No, not at all. Anyone? Yes, there is only one student who's telling that they want to get settled down in a town. Two. Now, my perspective is dentistry is very, very expensive. Okay, for example, all the people who want to settle down in their hometowns or somewhere. Okay, so do you know how much the Invisalign is going to cost? Do you know cost of Invisalign? Invisalign, aligners, ortho aligners, Invisalign brand. How much it's going to cost? Yes, okay, Harshini, you're right. Around 1.5 to 2 lakhs. Do you feel 1.5 to 2 lakhs sort of treatment? It's 1.5, not 35,000 or 40,000. Okay, it's 1.5 to 2 lakhs. Do you feel how many of the patients in the town and village are ready for this? I mean, you become an orthodontist, okay? You have an Invisalign certification, right? And followed by you want to settle down in a town, it's not going to be possible. Okay, so you see, like in metropolitan cities, laser based flap surgery, it costs from 35 to 50,000. 35 to 50,000. You decide after doing perio from a very good college. Okay, if you want to get settled down in an area where the dental needs are required, but where the patients were not able to take whatever the services you are going to provide. No, the thing is, in a village, you cannot charge more than 1,500 or 2,000 for a scaling. Okay, maximum it's 1,000 to 1,500 for scaling. So you have to decide whether if you want to get settled down in a town or somewhere, okay, then it is fine. Okay, village or town or somewhere, then it's a fine. But if you want to reach to a metropolitan city, or if you want to get settled down in a place where the people want more dental needs at a high level, okay, so at such particular point, they may not allow the PDS people. Okay, the only thing is it's being trendy, it's being shifted to MDS. Previously, PDS people used to have a good market, but now it's being shifted to the MDS. So what my point is very, very clear. If you want to get treated, okay, I myself want to get root canal treated. So, okay, so you have so many 200 odd students, you want to get root canal treatment done. Do you get operated by a PDS or do you want to get operated by an endo MDS? This is my simple open question. Okay, so do you want to get operated by an endo MDS or you want to go ahead with the PDS? But every one of us, because it's very simple, that it's a very common sense that we want to get the best treatment. So the thing is, it's very simple that most of the people, what I'm seeing, because in my practice or when I was talking with the students, and I see most of the people, they want to get operated by MDS. And people, they don't know the different branches like endo, perio, they don't know all this descriptive part. But most of my friends who are going to come and talk with me about the dentistry, so at any point, their perspective is very clear that they want to get operated by an experienced dentist. Okay, that is, they feel like after doing masters, you'll get more experience. So logically, what my suggestion is, people who want to jump into clinical practice, MDS is mandatory. Nowadays, you have social media providing everything. So before being operated by a root canal therapy, the patient is going to see the procedure on YouTube and is going to come you. Okay, while doing the procedure, the patient is going to ask you, doctor, why you're doing this? I have seen in the YouTube that that doctor is doing in a different way. So this is a social media effect on dentistry, and indirectly we are getting awareness towards the dentistry. So that's a good aspect. My point is, I'm not feeling bad for this. I'm feeling good for this. So this is one of the golden opportunity that you can practice. But what my suggestion is, MDS in a good branch is a mandatory for this to be successful at the next level. The second one is academics. Okay, so when I used to be like a BDS student, when I was in the BDS second year, probably in 2010. Okay, I see most of my teachers are BDS. My tutors are BDS people only. But I now, after my finishing, I got into my MDS probably in 2017. Okay, I see most of my teachers. I have never seen a BDS tutor in the departments. Very rarely we used to see the BDS tutors. Okay, now the academics jobs were more drifted to the MDS people rather than the BDS people. Of course, in MDS also, I'm openly telling, in MDS also, we don't have great opportunities for non-clinical departments. So non-clinical academic departments are already filled or already blocked. For example, if you want to become an academician, want to train the students, teach the students. So you have bright opportunities for clinicals. Particularly, you see every college has an opening for endo. Every college has an opening for an endo. Every college, most of the colleges have an opening for prosthetics. Prosthetics endo openings will be more in the colleges because these prostho endo people, they earn more on the clinical scenario or on the consultation. So that is the reason why they don't love to college. They don't love to join the college. Is it clear, guys? So if you want to become an academician, very interested in teaching, passion towards teaching and everything, BDS is not sufficient. You need to finish MDS. And MDS also, the options are more and reliable for departments like prostho. You have options, more options for prosthetics, more options for endo, more options for the clinical departments compared to the non-clinical departments. Next one, people who are planning to go for USA. Is there anyone on the list who are planning to go abroad? USA, Canada, Australia. Is there anyone? So that anyone of you, I want your response on the chat box. The response is so weak. Canada, right? Tejashwini. Yes, UK, right? So, I mean, most of the people, the main motto why they go, they go abroad. They go abroad is their point of view, but most of them has to get visa. Okay, they need to get visa. Okay, right. So for visa, they need to enter as a student. The country they should enter as a student, then the visa will be easy. So for this, most of the people, they take options like MHA, that is called as Masters of Health Administration. Nowadays, this Masters of Health Administration is available in India also. No need to go for abroad specifically to do the Masters of Healthcare Administration. Or you have something called as MBA in Hospital Administration or Hospital Management, or MBA in Leadership is also there, where few of the dentists are doing. Followed by you have Masters in Public Health, or you have Masters in Oral Biology, you have Masters in Temporomandibular Joint Disorders. So there are many such masters through which the students are going to enter countries like USA, countries like UK, countries like Canada, countries like Australia. Okay, so they enter the country with these courses as a student. Few of them will continue in the same courses. They continue in the same courses, and few of them they drift to dentistry completely, because these courses, Masters in Public Health, and they are not related to the dentistry. Okay, oral biology is related to the dentistry, but most of these courses are not related to the dentistry, because to get a student visa, they enter this, but most of them, okay, 80% of students, they continue in the same course because drifting into DDS is going to be so difficult. Dentistry is going to be so difficult. 20% of the people will drift to the dentistry and they settle in USA or in any of these countries as dentists. But rest 80% of the crowd, they settle with these tags. That is masters in public health, masters in oral biology, or masters in hospital administration, or MPH. Is it clear, guys? Okay, is it clear? So you can enter the country with any of these courses. Apart from these are the most popular courses which I have listed on the screen. So any of these courses, you can enter the country, after which you have to work hard, finish the license exams and everything, okay, do something and get into dentistry. If not, you have to settle down with these courses. This is what like 20-80 is the thing. Like 80% of the people, because of their financial conditions, or they may not work hard, so they settle in that particular path, and only 20% will be drifted to the dentistry. And nowadays you see most about the research courses. There are so many research courses available in the market. Okay, what my strong suggestion is, these research courses are going to be great once you do after finishing your MDS. Okay, I know that so many BDS people are doing this, but their profile was not up to mark. Okay, it's okay. But the thing is, you cannot be called as a dentist. You can be called as a doctor. Your doctorate will be useful, but they cannot be called as a dentist. But their profile in settlement was not up to mark, because I have a list of students who has done this, but they were not feeling great. They came back and they were preparing for MDS. So like nowadays, it is so fantasy that you will get so many messages to your chat box and everything on the WhatsApp that research courses for 6 months, research courses of 1 year are available. You decide, like, things which are of less time will be of less yielding. You may get salary of 20, 25,000, 30,000 immediately, but you don't have a proper growth in this particular thing. Okay. So how many have fantasy towards government jobs? Indians have so much fantasy towards government jobs. Anyone who want to know about government jobs?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the things about the government jobs is most probably wait and watch. Because in government jobs, you have lots of, like, it's not misinterruptions, so we can call it as lots of steps to be done. For example, you have a job, you have a permanent government job where the notification was out. So in permanent government job, in scoring, apart from the theory exam, apart from the MCQ exam, what they are going to code, so they're going to give chance to the temporary government job people. There'll be few people who are doing it on contract basis. So they'll have an extra scoring. And you see the number of jobs, you'll have 10 jobs, and people who are fighting for these 10 jobs, the competition will be around 1,000. So you have a 1,000 competition and jobs will be 10. And out of this already people who are doing the temporary jobs will have an extra weightage in scoring. And the number of jobs as of now are very, very less. Okay, you have UPSSC. Okay, you have many sort of examinations throughout the country. There are few states who take the allotment just basing upon the merit list. So that is fine. But there are many states who are going to take the allotment basing upon different criteria. Because trust me, even A's factor is also, A's means if you are more A's, you will get more points. If your A's is more, you will get more points. Okay. So A's, how you decide is, for example, a person who is relieved in 2012. So the scoring is from 2012 to 2021, 9 points will be added extra. So whereas you say you take from 2002 to 2020, 2021 to 2000, that your points are going to be 0. So all these are going to be an issues. Okay, it's a good option if you get a good option, but I'm not asking you to quit from this, but I'm telling you it's going to take time. So there are so many calculations. Your BDS percentage will be considered in few jobs. Your exam score will be considered in few jobs. And followed by exam, there are few government jobs where they are going to take an interview. So upon the interview, they'll be considering. So it's like wait and watch. You go, give a try, come back, but don't keep 100% expectations on this, because there will be some sort of bias. There will be some sort of bias which can occur in the interview also. So some overlapping biases will be there in the government jobs. But government jobs will be open regularly. But if you take, like, for example, if I'm asking you for Telangana students, okay, the government jobs were not open in the last 1 to 2 years. So and most of the government jobs are state specific. For example, if a job is there in Kerala, the first priority or utmost priority will be given to the local aids itself, because they need to handle the local people, so they should know the local language. So almost all the government jobs, with few exceptions, the first priority will be given to local aids. Means, for example, a government job is open for Andhra. Your 100% is the job will be given to Andhra itself. Is it clear about government jobs? So, for example, you cannot move to a government job until unless it is a central government job. Local state government jobs will be occupied only by the local aids. So that is very, very important. So don't keep heavy expectations on the government jobs, but whenever it is open, know it, because I'm going to update it on your groups. If there is any chance, and if you cross that eligibility criteria, you can apply and you can go through the process. Is it clear? Anyone about Army Corps? Very interested about Army Corps? Yes, that's what I'm asking you to wait for the notification. I also want a central government job if possible. Okay, next, Army Corps is one of the good thing that is happening nowadays. Okay, so you see, I have seen so many of my students, interns, who are able to clear the Army Corps. Army Corps is a central government job. Okay, all of us are eligible for it. So, but there are few steps in Army Corps which I am going to tell you. So, Army Corps will occur in 2 steps. The first step is you need to clear the NEET exam with a good rank. NEET MDS exam, you have to clear the NEET MDS exam with a good rank, preferably a rank of 1500 or 1200 below. All India 1500, 1200 below rank you have to achieve. So then you have to apply the corps for the notification. The notification will be out. You have to apply the notification, right? Clear? So once the notification is out and you apply, they will release the merit list of 400 to 500 students. This is just done basing upon your NEET rank. So all the people, like 10,000 people, or for example, like 1,000 to 2,000 people are going to apply. The top 500 in the NEET rank will be qualified and a merit list is released. This is the first step. Are you clear, right? Guys, are you clear? First NEET merit list will be released for the first 400 to 500 students. For this 400 to 500 students, medical examination will be done. So in medical examination, few may be eliminated, followed by you will have an interview. So after the interview, the final merit list will be out. Final merit list will be out. So this final merit list is going to contain 100 names. And the top 40 or 50 participants can join Army Corps basing upon the recruitment of that year. Sometimes it's going to be 45, sometimes it's going to be 35. So at the time of notification, they're going to tell how many recruitments they're going to do for this year. Is it clear? First NEET, followed by NEET. With your NEET scoring, you will have a merit list, and all these 400 to 500 students will be called for the medical checkup. Followed by the medical checkup, they are going to have an interview. The final list will be out, and the top 100 will be out. The top 40 or 50 who are interested can join. For example, I got second rank, but due to my family considerations or something, I'm not interested. So I'm going to quit it. So it may go up to 50. If the 50 seats are there, it may go up to 51 rank, because 10 or 15 people are going to quit for different reasons. So it will be extended up to next 10, 15 ranks. So few people will be in the waiting list. So if someone quits, they're going to get the chance to work with Army. Is it clear? Clear with Army Corps? Salary will be around 1 lakh initially. And as your grade, because you are going to have a stars, you can see the stars here on their shoulders. Can you see the stars? So you'll have an internal assessment exams. You'll have exams inside the Army. So once you clear those exams, your stars will be increased. Your position will be increased. You will get more payments. You will get more salary. Salary will be increased. Your position will be increased. and you'll have all allowances of army, your train, rail, all your preferences and everything. Okay, right? So I hope it is clear. You'll have 10 to 13 years service over in army. Then you can come back and practice your regular dentistry or something. You will get all provisions and allowances of army. Clear, guys? You have options in Navy also, but the chances are very, very minimal. Okay, the openings in Navy are very, very minimal, and their first priority is not by an exam. Their first priority will be given to the already Navy family. If you have a Navy family background, the first priority will be given to the Navy. Okay, because I have 2 or 3 of my friends who are wives of Navy officers. So now they are working in their respective ports. Okay, right? Clear? That we'll see after. That is not the topic to be discussed now, Sridhar. We'll discuss that topic after some time. Huh? Okay, right? Next one is I want to talk about JR ships, SR ships. Okay, so you have JR ship, SR ship. Okay, so JR ship is for BDS people and SR ship is done after MDS. Okay, so JR ship, SR ship are going to extend maximum 1 year. Few openings will be 6 months, few openings will be 1 year. And if you are a good one, you can extend it over a period of time, but it's going to be only 1 year or 1 year to 2 years. Okay, so these are nothing but called as extended internship programs. Means you do internship in your college, but you will have a paid extended internship in other colleges. So they are going to pay 40 or 50,000 per month, and you can do this JR and SR ships, and few JR ships, SR ships will be decided basing upon exam. They are going to conduct an exam. For example, you take AIMS. AIMS you will have SR. AIMS you will have SR ship that is done after MDS, and JRs will be there. PGI you have JRs. Maulana you have JRs, and all these are decided basing upon exam. You need to write an exam, and you need to clear the exam, top the exam, and you can work as a JR to increase your practice, more clinical practice. So this is all about JR ship and SR ship. Is it clear? And these are going to be only for 6 months to 1 year. This is just a tag which is going to be for 6 months to 1 year, for which you have to clear an exam again. Clear an exam or clear an interview, then you can go back. Payments are good. 40 to 50,000 is a minimum payment for most of the JRs, and followed by SRs also. You see SRs, okay, even if Hyderabad GDC Hyderabad for Telangana people has SR. Okay, the payment is 70 to 80,000 per month after finishing your masters. It will be decided basing upon your theory scores, theory marks, scoring in MDS. MDS theory score will be considered for the selection of this. Is it clear? So criteria will be different for different states. Few states, they keep exam and they select. Few states, they're going to select the students basing upon an interview. They select the students basing upon the scoring in MDS. I am talking about the JRs and SRs, which are in the locals. Locals means locals. For example, if a JR and SR ship is open in a central government college, any state people can apply. For example, AIMS you take central government, PGI you take central government. So JIPMER you take central government, Maulana, there are many colleges which are central government based colleges where any student can participate in those examinations. But if you take SR ship of Hyderabad, only Hyderabad localates are eligible for this. Means Telangana localates are eligible for this. Is it clear? And all this information is going to take lots of years for you to know. The main reason why I'm putting all this in your brain is you can keep your options open. That is the only reason why I'm keeping all these things open for you. If you are fine, then I'll update you. Notifications you have to search here. That's not the topic. This topic is always, now the topic is always the options that are available. I'll tell you when the notifications are going to come and everything. We'll slowly start the things. If you're fine, then I'll move to the next option. I want you to be active on the chat box. I want to be active on the chat box. Can I move to the next option you have? Yes, the next option you have is INBD. Okay. So is there anyone on the group, interns, have the thought of going for INBD? Anyone? Okay, right. So I'm going to talk about the steps of INBD. Okay, so previously we used to have NBD part 1, NBD part 2. Okay, so that is going to be part 1 and part 1 and part 2. Now they have combined to form a single exam that is called as INBD. So INBD is basically to do DDS in USA. So what are the steps that are included is first you have to do ECE evaluation of your certificates and everything. This is going to take minimum 3 months time. You have to send your original documents with all the protocols that are required to USA. Okay, so they're going to do the ECE evaluation and send your documents back. Then your login will be open. Then you have to generate the dental pin. There's something called as dental pin that you have to generate, with which you can book the slots of INBD. INBD exam, you cannot write from India. You have to go to USA and write this examination. This is going to be one exam. Once you clear INBD, you have to apply to the dental schools. So what you have to apply to the dental schools with all your recommendation letters, your CV, your profile, everything with the pass certificate of INBD, you have to apply to the schools. The schools will get thousands of applications, and they may call you. They may call you for interview. Some universities interview with the bench test will be there. Bench test is nothing but a practical exam. Bench test is nothing but a practical exam. So they may call you. Once they call you, okay, so the interview will be done, the bench test will be done. They may select you. So you will be selected for DDS. So within a 6 months waiting period, okay, your college is going to start. Okay, so your college is going to start after 6 months waiting period, and the course is, do you know how much time it's going to take finish DDS? Roughly, DDS course validity time is. Any idea? The course of DDS is going to take 2 years, 4 months. So 2 years, 4 months is the course of DDS. So once you're done with the DDS, you can come out and work as dentist in USA. Clear? Is it clear? I'm just repeating the steps again. First, you have to do ECE evaluation, followed by you need to generate the dental pin. Then you need to book slot for the exam. You have to clear the exam. Then you have to apply for the dental schools. Wait for the call for interview and the bench test. And once you clear the interview and bench test, you will be selected for DDS after waiting period of 6 months. And you'll have a course of 2 to 4 years. And then you can practice in US. Steps are clear? Right? Okay. So first thing that you have to focus on time, right? So ECE evaluation till exam time will take 1 year, because most of you have to finish your internship, right? So it's going to take 1 year. Then after clearing the exam, applying for the universities, and university may call you within a span of 1 to 2 years. So once you clear this everything, okay, you have waiting period of 6 months followed by 2 years, 4 months. It's going to be roughly 3 years. So 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 1 to 5. So it's going to take minimum 5 to 6 years time. It may be extended for few of them, but it's going to take 4 to 5 years. And till your application, everything, it's okay. It's okay. You can manage. That's not a big issue. But once you enter into applications for the colleges and everything, you need to spend a decent amount. And the course is going to cost, you need to spend 1.8 to 2.2 crores of Indian currency. 1.8 to 2.2 crores of Indian currency is what you need to spend. And all these procedures, exams, bench tests, and everything are very expensive. You need to pay in dollars and everything. Okay, that we'll elaborately discuss in the whenever we have time. We are going to discuss it. But DDS alone, the program is going to cost 1.8 to 2.2 crores for 2 years, 4 months. I hope the steps are clear. Steps are very, very important. Steps are clear, and the time duration is minimum 5 years to maximum, that depends upon the student. Minimum is 5 years. You cannot break this before 5 years. Is it clear? Is it clear? Can I go to the next part? I want you to back to 200 plus students.
Yes, sir.
So then we comes with the Canada options of Canada. Okay, right? So Canada is a heavy procedure. So you don't need to study in Canada. You have few things. You have few things in Canada. You can do DDS also in Canada. In Canada, you can do DDS also. Okay, or else you can directly clear the examinations. These are called as equivalency processings. Equivalency exams, you will have an equivalency exams. You have to clear. The first one is called as AKF. Okay, so you have a series of exams which you need to clear. The first one is AFK, that is Assessment of Fundamental Knowledge. This is basically on the basics, fundamental basic knowledge you have to clear. This is the first exam, and this exam occurs 2 times a year. It's going to be 2 times a year. And to start this equivalent processing, you need to spend $1,000. And the first exam, that is AFK, is going to be $800 to $900. I'm talking about the exam fees. So followed by this exam, the next exams you are going to clear are these 2 exams. Okay, that is ACJ and ACS. ACJ is nothing but a clinical judgment. This is clinical skills. So you have 2 exams. The first exam is going to cost $1,315 to $1,500. The second exam, that is skilled exam, is going to cost $9,000. Means, trust me, it's going to cost somewhere around 4 to 5 lakhs. You need to spend 4 to 5 lakhs. If you fail in this exam, you have to repeat the exam again, paying the fees. Is it clear up to this point? First 3 things are AFK, followed by ACJ, followed by ACS. Clear? Processing starts with $1,000 fees with all the documentation, everything. First exam is going to cost $800 to $900. Second exam is going to cost $1,350 to $1,500. The skill exam is very expensive. You need to spend 4 to 5 lakhs only on the exam fees. Okay, that's going to cost $9,000, sorry. Okay, so once you're done with, then you have to move to the next one called as OSCE, that is called as Objective Structured Clinical Examination, which is an NDEB, certification exam. So this is the next exam that you have to focus on. For processing, you need to start with processing of $550. And this exam contains 2 things. One is theory exam followed by the practical exam. Theory exam is going to cost $1,000. Okay, and practical exam is going to cost $1,000. Okay, so once you're done with all these certifications, then you will get permit to work in Canada. You can work in Canada by taking an option. The only problem here is, okay, so every exam is done twice a year. They'll have a special slots twice a year, means AFK will be done twice a year. So once you're done with this exam, you have to have a waiting period between 2 exams, because you need to prepare one and the application should be open in the second. So after that, ACF2, ACS, again, waiting period will be there, preparation time will be there. Again, this particular exam, it's going to take minimum 6 years to 1 year to prepare. So totally, if you clear everything in the first attempt, okay, it's going to take minimum 2.5 to 3 years plus time. Minimum 2.5 to 3 years of time is required to clear every exam. And that too, you are a good student. You can finish it in the first round itself. You can clear in this particular time, or it's going to take more time. Is it clear, guys? Steps in Canada. One is you can do DDS. DDS is same way like clearing the exams, applying for the universities. University people are going to call you. You need to get selected. You need to join. You need to complete the course. After completing the course, you can work. That is one. The second option is you have to go with these steps. AFK, followed by ACJ, followed by ACS, followed by the practical and the theory exam. So you can calculate the money. The money, I mean, like most probably I have kept in the range. So money is exactly what I have quoted. Traveling expenses, coaching expenses, extra XYZ, because again, for the practical exam, you need to take coaching. Again, for the theory, every exam you require a coaching. Okay, so coaching expenses plus traveling expenses plus stay expenses plus the exam fees. Is it clear? Canada is open for PRs and everything. So options will be more. They'll not trouble you for the visas and everything compared to USA and UK. UK, the visa chances will be very, very less. Followed by USA, Canada will be more flexible compared to many other countries. Can I move to the next part? If the steps are clear, if it is yes, I'll move to the next part. So next is UK. Okay, UK. The visa processing is going to be difficult for UK compared to many other countries, and particularly during this COVID situation, it's going to be so difficult. So for most of these exams, you need to clear ORE. Okay, so that is something called as a license exam. Okay, so first of all, the problem is visa problem will be there. So once you enter the country, then you can think of how to flourish, because I have very less number of people who are in touch with me in the last 8 years of dentistry who are in UK. There's just like hardly 1 or 2 people were settled over there. Settlement is good, but most of these women, they got married and they shifted to UK. Then they started working on these ORE exams. Then they cleared and now they got settled over that particular area. Okay, right? So then comes the Australian Dental Council. So Australian Dental Council and New Zealand Dental Council has the same mode of exams. Okay, so you have a series of exams which has to be cleared. And for each round, you need to spend 8 to 10 lakhs as exam fees. Exam fees plus traveling. So exam fees plus traveling, you need to spend 10 lakhs for each round of exam. And if you fail the exam, again, you have to repeat the exam. The problem with Australia and New Zealand and most of other countries where the dentistry is very good is, do you know the dentist to population ratio? Clear about dentist to population? There is something called as, we hear in the community, dentist to population ratio. Heard this terminology? Dentist to population ratio anytime in your dentistry, 4 years of your dentistry. Have you heard this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So Australians, what they do, Australians and New Zealand people, what they do is, whenever the dentist to population ratio is going to tell they require dentists, then only they will open the license exam. Okay. Probably 3 years back, it was completely blocked. Means they're not taking any dentists for 2 years. Then they have opened it again. Because whenever they hit the dentist to population ratio, they feel the dentists are not required, they're going to stop. So even if you go for these license exams, what they do is, for example, they require 10 dentists now. So what they are going to tell you, select the top 10. So it's not basing upon the merit or basing upon some value. So basing upon the requirement, they're going to pick the dentist. And for this exam to be cleared, you require lots of experience. In my list in the past 8 years, I don't have any of my senior, junior has cleared this exam. I have 2 of my professors who has done this. One is Perio professor and second one is an OMR professor who has done it. Okay, but I don't have any of my batchmates, seniors, past 5 years seniors, or my juniors or my students have not cleared it, because this is an exam of very high standards. And thing is, most of the problem with this Australian Dental Council exam is you need to spend more. For example, investment of 10 lakhs, you don't know whether you're going to clear the exam or not. Okay, so that's going to be heavy investment for most of the dentists. Even if they're earning good, 10 lakhs is very huge investment. So most of them, they don't love to take risk over this particular area, spending over 10 lakhs related to the Australia. Now, these are the few things which I have seen in the last, these points are very, very less before, like probably before 2016, 17. But now after COVID-19, after 2017, so dental marketing has lots of importance. And there are many of my friends and colleagues have done greater things in dental marketing, and they're doing good. Okay, so I mean, like, the thing is, it's not mandatory that every of you has to do good clinical practice. Means you may have a good clinical skills, good hand skills. Few of the people may have great hand skills, but few of the people, they have more talking power. They have more talkative. They're more talkative. Talking power is there. So basing upon that, you try to select your field in which you want to grow. MDS, whatever you're going to gain, MDS is a wisdom. whatever the knowledge you are going to gain, whatever the wisdom you are going to gain through the process of MDS is different thing. That's going to keep an add-on to your life. But what you are good at, you have to focus on. Because if you take, I'm an endodontist, okay? So I don't do much clinical practice because I feel like I am good at different things. So I focus on my life. I have done MDS. Okay. There similarly, my batchmates have done MDS. They may be good at different things, but they are focusing on the clinicals. So the point is, it is not mandatory that you have to focus only on the clinicals after finishing the MDS. You have different diversities, which I have seen my students, my colleagues has been doing good in it. So the one such thing is dental marketing. So now marketing and finance has lots of importance in the day-to-day life, particularly in the metropolitan cities. You can think of, if you have some strategies, okay, start implementing them, start working on them, and see whether they're going to be success or not. Okay. The next one I want to focus is apps. Nowadays, I see so many of my students and colleagues are working on different apps. I see very few of them, they are super hit, but most of them are not up to mark. But this is a good opportunity. Like if you have more involvement in the social media, like for example, there are few students who are very active in extra things apart from dentistry. So you can think of the app-based preparation. Medical transcription is one of the most common fantasy, which I'm seeing that most of the people are doing good in it. But you are no way called as a dentist here. Okay, so you need to have a medical prescription transcriptions that you have to translate, you have to talk, you have to take the US calls and everything. So this is more of a software-based job, but dentists are eligible for this and pay is decent, but you require so much of background sound knowledge over this because, for example, you need to clear the interviews. So in the interviews, the first priority is given to MDS people because I have one of my teacher who is MDS in oral pathology and who is a reader now and who is now recently joined this medical transcription job and he's doing good. He's getting somewhere around 1 lakh or 1.2 per month. And whenever I talk with him, he's going to tell you more. It's like more of like a job which is more of like in a software job. You'll have targets, you'll have something, you have calls to take, and you have to attend all these things. The next one is I'm seeing a few people. There is one of my batchmate in the UZ level who is now working for an insurance company. So insurance companies regularly, they love to take doctors, but most of the MBBS doctors may not be interested in this particular field. So because you need to explain the patients about the terminologies which are more related to the medical field. So few of the dentists now are being shifted to this insurance companies. You have, I mean, like these options are open. You have interviews, okay, and you need to clear the interview and you will get an insurance. You are going to be an insurance job holder, okay, right? So I see like forensic odontology. Previously, we used to have forensic odontology courses throughout the world, which has to be done after DDS. But now you see India also, you have forensic related courses in few of the colleges, not in all colleges, in few of the colleges. I am not well sure about the opportunities. I see every oral medicine radiology person and every oral pathology person after finishing their MDS, now they're doing this courses, this sort of courses they're doing just to improve their tag and focus in their career. Okay. But I don't know how far the opportunities of this. I'm less aware of the opportunities, but only one thing I can tell you. Hope you remember Nirbhaya. Nirbhaya case in Delhi, which is done. Yes, right. So the fifth victim of Nirbhaya case was identified with his tooth marks. Forensic odontology people has helped in identifying the fifth victim. I mean, the proof identification of fifth victim. Nowadays, you see many things going around the forensics. Even you see the latest, I don't remember the movie. That's a Malayalam movie that is being dubbed in Telugu also. Okay. So the movie moves around the forensic odontology. I don't remember the movie name. It's a like investigation movie. The entire movie moves around the forensic odontology, most of the skull things and everything. I don't, yeah, cold case, right? Perfect. It's a cold case. Right? Most of the things, they move around the forensic odontology. Right. So forensic odontology has a scope, but I don't have any of my friends because most of the things are what I'm discussing with you are completely from a practical point of view. I have my colleagues who are already settled in that field. If time permits, on the process of learning, where I'll try to get them. Okay. But forensic odontology, I have people who has done the courses, but I don't have people who are doing jobs basing upon the courses. Most of the people who have done forensic, their HODs, professors in different colleges. I have a list of people, but I don't have people who are working exclusively on forensic odontology. Now you see, okay, hope you remember, like there are so many labs in the country who are very popular. Okay, so they're dental labs. So you can think of establishing a dental lab also. It can be any department. For exclusively, most of the people will have license to open a dental materials store or dental labs. They'll have that license to open. But dental lab is not a bad option. Okay, so because apart from what people are earning on the clinics, lab earnings will be very huge. Okay, so the problem is we don't think in this perspective as a BDS student. But once we get settled down, so these are all going to be like out of our scope. So people who feel like good at, like most of us will do devaxings and all this like lab work we have done in the prosthetics. Why you have done this lab work is a question mark. So opportunities are there. The only thing is you require lots of focus and patience. And I have seen people recently, one of the Telangana student has opened, one of my student has opened a dental store. Okay. So metropolitan cities dental store has a good demand. So I don't feel it's a great move, but what I feel, yes, it's of course an option. So I want every one of you to think the challenges. Like, for example, even now after completing MDS and had a clinic, I can open a dental store. Okay, there is no objection. I can open a dental store. That's not a big deal for me. The thing is, you have diversified options where you need to think of. Okay, and next one is you can open a store. You can promote the material. I see nowadays. I moved to the conferences, conventions. Have anyone attended conferences, conventions? Any one of you have attended conferences or conventions? Yes, right? You see so many dental products available in the market which are being sold by the dentist itself. Long back, we used to have marketing people, but when someone want to explain the product, for example, a root canal therapy, a file or something, an irrigation solution, if a dentist is there, he's better person to explain that. So nowadays, I have seen so many people shifting to the marketing side of dental products. Marketing of dental clinics, I have seen people. Marketing of dental products, I have seen people. People who are shifting to insurance. Civil services is a different thing. Anyone with a degree tag can apply for civil services. I have two of my friends who are working as one is working as a manager in a central government bank, and one of them is working as a clerk. One of the person is working as a private insurance company. So I have a different people. Few people have shifted to accounting also. There is something called as material BTech in materials. So if you do that particular course of BTech, MTech, sorry, that is MTech in material sciences. So if you do that particular courses, you can start working with the companies who are generating these materials. You have see a list of materials that are being generated. Every day you see a new type of composite is going to come into existence. Recently modified composite. So all these requires some dental background. So for example, in these companies, a job is open for a material sciences person. A person who has done BDS and MDS followed by material sciences is best choice, rather than a person who has done BTech followed by MTech. Is it clear? You have such opportunities also. The only thing is exposure is less. We have a phobia that in the future, we may not be called as doctors. In the future, we may suffer. So that is the reason why I see most of the people quitting these things and jumping into the simple things what are in front of us. Clear? Clear, guys? Can I move to the next part? So you can open depots, you can open stores. Nowadays, a few of them are opening online stores. Dental online stores are available. The thing is, you need to maintenance is different thing. I'm not talking about the maintenance. I'm talking about the opportunities. And most of the dental depots which you see, okay, not particular that I have listed on the photograph. Okay, nowadays you see dental depots are being handled by the dentists only. But thing is, investment is very huge. So you need to have a proper investment. Then you can take a call over this. You can keep this as a part-time, or you can keep this as a full-time. So basing upon your ideology and revenue generation. For example, I have a more fantasy towards the clinical practice, or I have a more fantasy towards the teaching thing. So that is what my primary goal. Money making is different for us, because once we cross a particular thing in money making, we don't bother about money making. We bother about the name and fame in the society. So you decide whether you want to keep any of these opportunities as a full-time or as a part-time. That is your wish. But I'm telling all these are open for you. So next one, I'm going to talk about the Gulf countries. So there are many Gulf countries which are going to provide you an option as a BDS graduate or an MDS graduate to work in their countries. The pay scale will be more when compared to India, just more when compared to India, maybe 3 to 4 times more, 2.5 to 3 times more. The only problem nowadays with the Gulf countries is they are not allowing the BDS people. Okay, because now the competition has increased. Most of the MDS people, I have 10 of my batchmates, seniors and juniors who are in the who are in the different parts of Gulf. That can be Saudi, Qatar, Dubai, Sharjah, or any other places. Now they are not taking the BDS people. Okay, they are taking only the MDS graduates, and even MDS graduates requires 3 years experience. BDS experience is also valid. BDS minimum 3 years experience is also valid for general dentistry, but now they're not taking the BDS people for general dentistry. Okay, now they're not taking the BDS people for general dentistry. Now they are taking only the MDS people only for the general dentistry, because it's just because of the competition. Previously, we don't have a number of MDS people to move to the Gulf, but now you have more options. So when you have now BDS people are also eligible to clear the exam. There will be a license exam. You're also eligible to clear, but opportunities are less for BDS, and for either BDS or MDS, minimum 3 years of experience in a clinical dentistry is required. Right? So these are all, you have options in all the countries. The salary is going to be restrictions. Salary is going to vary from each country in the Gulf. Gulf countries are a group of countries. So it will be, salary will be a bit vary, and restrictions will be varying, and the opportunities. Exam will be different for different country. It's not a common exam for all the Gulf countries. It's different for different country. But clearing exam is not a big deal. I have never seen anyone failing in the exam. Clearing exam is okay. If you read for 1 or 2 months, you can clear the exam, but you require a 3 years experience minimum for a BDS or an MDS person to enter into these countries. 3 years experience, clinical experience means working in a clinic. You have to show that you have worked in a clinic, and that is mandatory. So I'm done with all the options which I have listed for you. Okay, right? Clear, guys? Okay, so thing is, so these are, do you have energy? Shall we continue? Okay, done. Yeah. So next,
hello, sir.
Yeah, next one I'll be talking more about MDS. So in India, if you want to plan for MDS, okay, so MDS can be done by 2 exams mainly. One is NEET exam. Okay. Second one is INI-CET. INI-CET has only 30 to 40 seats, whereas NEET is going to have somewhere around 5,500 seats. Is it clear? NEET exam is going to carry all the seats, your colleges, most of your colleges, private colleges, government colleges, deemed colleges, your army corps, everything will be through the NEET. Whereas INI-CET will have seats of AIIMS, PGI, and JIPMER only. Okay. So how can we do MDS is by 2 entrance exams. One is NEET and INI-CET. Even if you want to buy a management quota seat, you need to clear NEET exam. Do you know that? Even if you want to buy a seat through management quota, you should clear the NEET exam. NEET exam has to be cleared. Okay, so you have 5,500 seats in India. Okay, and 40-50 seats will be filled by INI-CET. Okay, so do you know how many government college seats are there per year in the India? Any idea about the number of government college seats in the country? Okay. So you have somewhere around 500 to 550 government college seats in the country per year, out of which 30 to 40 will be from INICET and rest of the seats will be filled by NEET. And you can ask me, what is the advantage of government college seats? Government college seats advantage, no need to pay. No fees. Your private colleges has a minimum fees ranging from 3 lakhs to 10 lakhs per year for MDS. Government college seats has no fees. And in fact, they are going to pay you stipend. Stipend will be paid a minimum of 40,000 to 90,000 per month. Stipend will be there. Okay. So do you know what is the stipend of Maulana? Stipend of Maulana Dental College? Do you know what is the highest stipend in the country? You have Maulana, you have GDC Rohtak. There are many countries, KGMC Lucknow. So all these has a stipend of minimum 80,000 plus month, 80 to 90,000 plus months. Somewhere around like you're going to carry, yes, somewhere around like 90 and odd. So somewhere you're going to carry 30 lakhs of stipend per 3 years of your PG. So you'll get 30 lakhs of stipend of 3 years of your PG. So you'll have somewhere around 80 to 90,000 per month as a stipend from the central government. Is it clear? So that's an advantage of government colleges. So it's not that all the colleges are going to pay 70 to 80, but most of the colleges has a range of 40 to 50. You take GDC Hyderabad, GDC Kadapa or GDC Vijayawada. You take Karnataka, people are there. GDC Bangalore is there. GDC Nair for Maharashtra. So there are many colleges, right? So they have a decent stipend of 40 to 50,000, 40 to 50,000, minimum 40 to 50 or 50 to 60,000 per month. And no need to pay anything to the college. Where for a private college, you need to pay college fees, which ranges from minimum 3 to 6 lakhs per year. Per year, you need to pay 3 to 6 lakhs. Right? So GDC seats per year in the country are 500 to 550. How many GDC seats are there in your state? Any idea? Andhra people? How many seats are there? Karnataka? Maharashtra? So I'm just going to give an outline. So Vijayawada GDC Vijayawada is there, where a GDC that is more moving around Andhra. So what happens here is you have 9 GDC seats, 3 departments. Okay, so you have 9 seats in the state, out of which 50% will go to All India counseling and 50% will be state counseling. So what happens? 3 cannot be divided half. So what they do is 1 year they're going to give 2 seats to All India. Next year they're going to give 1 seat to All India. Clear? The leftover seats will be going for the state counseling. The leftover seats will be in the state counseling. Clear? So you take GDC Kadapa. And now, I mean, there is a talk that GDC Kadapa seats will be increased. Now, recently the inspection was done. As of now, you have 3 surgery, 3 perio, 3 OMR, 3 prosto. So you have 11 seats as of now. So you take GDC Bangalore. GDC Bangalore is there in front of you. So GDC Bangalore has 3 ortho, 3 surgery, 3 perio, oral medicine 3, public health 3, conservative 3, prosto 3, pathology 3, pedo 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you have 27 seats. You take GDC Mumbai, Maharashtra has maximum number of GDCs in the country and they have maximum number of seats. You take pedo, you have 5 seats in Nair, oral path 5, medicine 5, surgery 10 seats in Nair, ortho 5, conservative 5, prosto 10, and perio 5. And followed by GDC Aurangabad, you have 3 in each departments, except in prosto you have 6 seats. You take GDC Nagpur, you have 3, 3, 3, 3. Oral medicine is 2, and surgery is 3, pedo is 3, and prosto is 3. You have GDC Nair. So GDC Nair again, you have. Okay, right. So these are the number of seats. I'll be posting these things on the list. So you have seats, available seats in Indore, that is Madhya Pradesh, you have Indore, Madhya Pradesh, you have seats. Okay. So what are the exams you are eligible for? I'll be posting all these things on your group. Okay. What are the exams you are eligible for? So what is the first exam that an intern is going to take? Any idea? Because previously we used to have exams which are conducted in December. The NEET will be conducted in December, but due to the COVID-19, your academic year is being drifted to March. Okay, your academic year is being drifted to March. Previously, you used to finish your final year theory exams in the month of August, September. Now that is being shifted to November, December, January for most of the states. Okay, so now your exam is going to be in the March. The first exam that you are going to be eligible for is November INI-CET. INI-CET November is the first exam you are eligible for. Okay, you are eligible for this. There are few state people may not be eligible. There are few people who are eligible for this. The second exam that you are going to be eligible is March NEET exam. If your internship is done by December, as of now, except Telangana students, Andhra students are eligible for this because your result is out now. Probably your internship will be started by December 31st. Okay, mostly. Okay, so by next year, December 31st, you are going to complete the internship. So you are eligible for November INI-CET exam. Followed by March NEET exam will be there. So followed by this March NEET exam, the next exam you're going to do is May INI-CET. Clear with the sequence of exams, guys? First exam is November INI-CET. Second exam is March NEET exam, which is most important exam. Followed by, if you have time and if you have patience, then you can give the next exam that is called as May INI-CET. Clear? Clear the sequence of exams that you are eligible for? Okay, so description part and everything were covered in already a video which is already posted on YouTube. So what to be focused and everything. I'll be posting that link after the class on the group. So you can check the description part. So I'm not going to talk about all these things. They're already covered in that particular video. Okay, blueprints of exam. Each subject is going to carry 14. Everything was already covered. Books to be followed, MDS Conquer books to be followed, and everything are already covered. I'll be posting that. Okay, so you try to check this. All these were already covered. So we have offline centers available in Hyderabad, available in Vijayawada, available in Gulbarga, Vijayawada, and Hyderabad. The offline centers are available. Okay, the Gulbarga is the recent one, which is going to start this year. Okay, so we have two plans. One is Pro Plan and one is Plan A. The difference between the Pro Plan and Plan A is Pro Plan are going to have live classes. So every week you are going to have 1 to 2 live sessions. Okay, so that's the only difference. Rest everything is same between the Pro Plan and the regular plan. Okay, so this is the contact number. I mean, you're already in contact with me. Okay, so these are the few things which I feel like I need to discuss in this 1.5 hour. Okay, so I'll be posting the link where you can see the descriptive part of INI-CET,